bringing stats like a kingpin. MMA knowledge meets his nephews all lean in, breaking down fights, codes that daddy's supreme on. Just a tip show, he's cooking up a dream. Uncle Weezy, he the man, dropping fight facts, got it all on hand. He the stat attack grand, MMA guru, more than just a fan. Wanna know the numbers? Weezy got them cataloged, from the fighters reach down to how many times they dog. Just a tip living, breaking it down slick, hit you with the knowledge, won't miss a single trick. Uncle Weezy, he the man, dropping fight facts, got it all on hand. He the stat attack grand, MMA guru, more than just a fan. Balls deep predictions, he be making those calls, getting in the details, opponents feeling small. From jazz to takedowns, got the whole fight ID. Uncle Weezy spitting truth, no lie, keep it G. Blow the horn, blow the horn. Stat Daddy Weezy not showing no scorn. Fight Night Kingdom, he wearing the crown. Break it down for the peeps, never looking like a clown.
Oh, yes. What's going on, everybody? It is Thursday afternoon. I see there's 8 of you live right now hanging out with me, and that's a pretty good Patreon-only stream. So maybe I might start doing probability on Thursday afternoon instead of Wednesday night if more people can watch live. I think that's always the goal, is to do this at a time when more people can access it live and we can have a little more banter in the chat. So yeah, fired up to have you guys with me today. We've got 13 fights that we've already broken down. We've got the notes ready on all of them. I'm pretty fired up to go through these fights. There are some spots that are sticking out, and then there's some spots that, you know, basically my methodology, the way I go about betting fights, are telling me just stay away from these fights. So yeah, appreciate you guys for hanging out. Let's go through these fights. Now, I've been trying to change this show up a little bit. Have a little bit more, like I've changed up the way that I break down fights and have it be more regimented. I want to do the same thing with this show. So, you know, what I want this show to be about is where the stylistic read meets the data. And if we can find spots where the stylistic read matches up with plus EV spots, those are the spots that we want to stick out. Those are the spots that we want to play. Though we want to have a methodology where we're getting indicators from the data that we have and from the reads that we have, and determining whether we're getting the right price on where the data meets the read. And that's going to be the plan going forward for this. And I think if we have a more regimented, more ritualistic, more regimented way, I think regimented is the best way to say it. You know, we can come up with ways to find bigger bets, to be more confident about the spots that we play. So I'm looking forward to this one, you guys. Let's make some money. Let's break down these fights. And we're going to start, let's see, so I'm going to go in the same order that I went on Balls Deep Breakdowns. And we're going to start with a fight that was the first fight of the night earlier in the week. And now it looks like it's going to be the featured prelim. But this way I don't have to change up my documents. I don't have to change up the order in which I'm putting timestamps on stuff. So I'm going to be lazy. I'm going to do it my way here. And we're going to go in the order that I've already written up these fights. So let me share my screen with you guys here. And we will get the fight write-ups up here. And we also have all the stats packages, all the betting models. They're ready to go. They're populated with all the available lines. And now it's up to us to pick out the spots where the stylistic read meets that data. So let's start with that first fight of the night, which is not the first fight of the night. It is going to be Aslan versus Cerqueira. Now, you guys, this is a fight that I'm not going to be betting. And really the only read that I have in this fight is just trying to tell myself to not bet Aslan. I want to bet Aslan. I know nothing about Cerqueira. There is zero information on Rafael Cerqueira to suggest that he deserves to be in the UFC. None. He's never beaten anybody with a pulse. To suggest that somebody should be in the UFC because they train on the same mats as Jailton Almeida is ridiculous. There's no available footage on this guy's fights. That is a massive, massive, massive red flag. If you're fighting people with a pulse, there are going to be cameras there and there are going to be people watching. The only footage available of Cerqueira is a 4-minute fight that's in a high school gym, it looks like, and where he barely throws a punch until he throws a spinning elbow that lands 4 minutes into the fight. So I don't see any reason to bet on Cerqueira. I think Aslan should win the fight, but there's always a chance, because we have no clue who Cerqueira is, that he could come out here and look phenomenal. He could be out there on the same vitamins that Jailton Almeida is on and wind up being an absolute stud. But we have no idea. We have to admit to ourselves that we don't have the necessary information to make an educated decision on this fight. So my stylistic read for this fight is an Ivo Aslan second round KO. And I'm saying, like, I don't see how you could pick Cerqueira due to the lack of information that's available on him. Aslan is more experienced. He has the strength of schedule advantage, and he's 13-0 to the KO. So if we look at the available lines on this fight on the betting template, Aslan by KO is plus 150. But that's a plus EV bet. 12 of 12 wins by KO. It's how he wins the fight. So, I'll give you guys Aslan by KO and the Aslan money line. It's 150. Ivo Aslan money line right now is plus 110. So that's not bad. I think it's not a bad play. And I'm just going to put down here in my notes that I'm going to try to not bet this fight due to the lack of available actionable information on the side. So that's my read on this fight. Aslan KO, Aslan money line are probably the bets that hit. But I just don't think it's smart to bet on this one. Let's see what you guys say here. We got the 4-ounce snipers in the room, and he has to say, "Oi, what is up, dude?" We got Benito saying, "Thanks for the Europe-friendly start, Uncle. You've got it, my man. I'm glad you're here to share with us today." We got Litz in the room saying, "Need some parlay legs this week, Wheezy." You're not going to get any on this first fight. I don't think we should be parlaying anything on this fight, but let's find some ones going forward here. We got my guy Michael in the room saying, "Oi." And we've got Jay in the room saying, "Oi, juicy. What's up?" Hi, Mark Water with the oi. 4-ounce sniper saying, "Hit the like button for Unk." We got House of Pain saying, "Yeah, this way I have something to do at work." There we go. I like it, man. We got Radislav in the room saying, "Oi." We got my guy Dravi saying, "Aslan plus 110, very tempting." I'm tempted by it too, but I'm trying just to not bet the fight, because for all I know, this guy Cerqueira could come out here looking like Jailton Almeida. We just don't know, and if I feel like if I bet on Aslan and it goes tits up, I'm gonna be angry at myself for even betting on this fight. So we got AW in the room saying, "Oi, let's bet Aslan." You guys all like it too, huh? The Lions flipped. I don't know. Like, the one funny thing about this too is, like, who's betting Cerqueira? What are these people doing? Like, what information do they have that's telling them, yeah, I got to lay juice on this guy? Because if you're sitting there and you're making a bet with hard-earned money, and your reasoning for making the bet is this guy trains with Jailton Almeida, that's terrible. You should never be betting like that. Dante O'Mays trains with John Jones. Maurice Green, who's like smoking with cigarettes and shit. And crocheting. That dude trains with John Jones. It's not a good reason to bet on him, So I don't know, man. This is weird, dude. And we got Mr. Wipeout is also at work And Dravi's saying pass seems like the right thing to do, man. You're right. Yeah, I think it's one of those situations where I'm right about passing. And then Aslan might come out there and look minus 300. And then it's kind of like, well, no, you were kind of wrong. You passed up on some free money. That's the great thing about gambling, is that there really aren't any right answers before the fight. But doing prudent things and leaving some money on the table, I think, is better than making big mistakes and letting those units go out of your account. So, yeah, man, let's move on, dude. We got Rem Dog in the room saying, sup, Unk? What's up, Rem Dog? Good to see you hanging out in here, man. But let's move on to this next fight here. We just got a new subscriber to the probability stats package. I just got the note from the Telegram. Whoever just joined, welcome. Thank you. Appreciate you for joining the team. And yeah, guys, I mean, come on, $5, $5 for a month's worth of this probability stats package to get access to all this stuff. I think it'd be amazing if we got 100 people to join. I think that people would be really blown away by the level of content that I'm putting out here on the Patreon and the Dub Club. The amount of subscriber only content and these betting models are phenomenal when we have some sample sizes to look at. And my guy K Deep Montana in the room saying, oh, we got the Godfather here. We got Muhammad in the room saying, Big Wheeze. We got Jacob saying, I like that Rafael trains with Jailton, might get a sub. Yes. Yeah, deal, Wheezy. Been meaning to support. Appreciate you, Muhammad. Thanks for hanging out with us, man. Awesome. All right, you guys. So let's go on to this next fight, which is going to be Ismael Naurdiev, minus 175 favorite, going up against Bruno Silva, plus 150. We got the fight doesn't go to decision, juiced up a little bit here at minus 170. So this is one I'm having a problem with as well, because this as far as strength of schedule goes, Bruno Silva is so many notches above where Ismael Naurdiev has been fighting recently that it's not even funny. And it makes me feel like I might be an idiot for passing on Bruno Silva here, because we just haven't seen much out of Ismael Naurdiev since he's been cut to suggest that this dude is UFC level right now. Now, everybody's absolutely piling on Bruno Silva because they're saying you can't lose to Chris Weidman in 2024. I mean, do you think that Naurdiev's beating him? Is he beating Chris Weidman? I mean, who's Naurdiev going to knock out? It's not knocking. I mean, if Alex Pereira didn't knock out Bruno Silva, I hate to tell you that Naurdiev ain't knocking him out. Naurdiev's a welterweight, so is he going to like throw Bruno Silva around like he's a rag doll? Probably not. And if Silva gets on top of you, he's got some pretty good ground and pound. My model is liking overs in this fight. Actually, just according to the previous data, it really likes a fight starts round 3 at minus 122 here. And also, when we look at the betting templates, which are going to be of some help here because we do actually have 4 fights from Naurdiev, but they are a long time ago. And we've got a decent sized sample size here on the Bruno Silva side as well. But my models are liking a Bruno Silva KO at plus 400. All 4 of his UFC wins come by way of knockout. And we've seen Ismael Naurdiev knocked out twice on the regional scene, once by Jalal Salawi, once by Kutsi. And the Bando fight where he got subbed, he got rocked on the feet first, which is what set up the submission. So Bruno Silva is a dude who does have power. He's got over 20 career wins by knockout. So I do want to put Bruno Silva by submission with a 6-fight sample size, according to my betting model. Regardless of what your stylistic read is, that's a plus EV bet at plus 400. So we're going to go Bruno Silva by KO plus 400 is something that I think is worth looking at. I'm also kind of on the fight goes to decision here. We've got I'm getting a 46% implied probability for Ismael Naurdiev to just got another subscriber. Let's go. Let's just get as many subscribers to this probability package as possible. $5 a month. The link, did I make this video public? I mean, there's 26 people in here. This is supposed to be Patreon only. I hope this is Patreon only. I hope it's all the Patreon people supporting, but I get the feeling like I might have accidentally made this video public now. Did I fucking make it public? God damn it. Hang on just a second, you guys. Stick with me. I got to go to my YouTube account and see if I made this public. Because if I did, I'm just such a stoner idiot. Monetization off, restrictions none. It's live. It's public. Come on. All right, so here I got to do something for you guys. Then, if you are watching this, this is a Patreon only show that I do. It's supposed to just be for my paying Dub Club and Patreon members, but there is a $5. This show is part of a package that I charge $25 a month for. That includes my fight write-ups. It includes all the fight statistics, the matchup stats, the individual fighter stats, the betting models, the over-under models, the access to the Discord, access to all my tracked bets, and access to over 4 hours of subscriber-only content. I'm going to just put this link in the description of the video, since I've already made it public now. There's no point in making it private. So let me just go in here real quick and get this link for you guys, and I'll update the video so that you guys hopefully can take advantage of this and use this to your advantage. I'm just having problems finding the right link here. Just give me a second. Okay. There it is. And channel content, update. The very top link now in the description of the video is going to show a link to a 80% off discount for the Dub Club membership that gets you access to this show weekly. So yeah, I can't believe I made it public. This was supposed to be private, but either way, let's make some money together. This is a show I do every week. I'm going to be bringing guests on in the future, and looking at these spots and trying to use these proprietary betting models that I've created to find value in these prop betting markets so that we can stack cash tickets like flapjacks together. So Bruno Silva by KO is something that I'm looking at plus 400. My betting model has identified that as a plus EV bet. A trifecta bet is Ismael Naurdiev to win by decision at plus 350. Both of Naurdiev's UFC wins are by decision. 3 of 5 losses for Bruno Silva in the UFC come by decision. That is 71% of that 7-fight sample size. If we adjust it by the implied win probability for Naurdiev, we get a prop that should be priced around 46% implied probability. This is at 22.22%. So I am going to be putting a half unit on Ismael Naurdiev to win by decision. At plus 350. I think that's a really good bet. If we're looking at the over-unders here, my model does like fight starts round 3. It's almost a trifecta bet, but there is 28.55% in savings. So we'll write that one down. A fight starts round 3. Minus 122 could be a potential parlay piece. The data likes it. My stylistic read is that Ismael Naurdiev wins this fight by decision. So when the stylistic read matches up with a plus EV bet of this nature, where we see 2 wins for Naurdiev on the at the UFC level by decision, 3 of 5 losses, this is one that sticks out like a sore thumb. And then the data likes the over, and since my stylistic read is that this fight is going to go over, I like that as well. But I think if the fight does finish, Naurdiev is live by submission because Bruno Silva loves to get submitted. This dude has been submitted 7 times as a professional, and he's never won a fight by submission. So I think he's like 20-1 to the KO, and he's 0-7 to the sub. So usually when you see stats like that, it does actually indicate that the fight is going to finish inside the distance. But in this era with these new gloves, we're seeing a lot less finishes. And if you're relying on the knockout, I kind of find until this trend changes back, I like those overs. So the plus EV spots I've found here: Silva by KO, Ismael Naurdiev by decision, and a fight starts round 3 at -122 is a good data read and a potential parlay piece. Let's see what you guys are saying in the chat. The man, the myth, the legend, says my guy Godfather Jacob Cole, saying he's got Bruno by KO plus 400. Good line, man. Every time I hear Jailton Almeida, I think of Curtis Blades. Oh, God. Man, that was an ass shaving of the week that went tits up for your Uncle Wheezy. I was very confident on Jailton. We got Remdog saying, I think Naurdiev eats eye pokes better than Bruno. Poor Bruno. He just got his eyes absolutely. It was like Mo from the Three Stooges just beating on Curly, man. It was hard to watch. Mr. Wipeout saying we love you for it, Wheezy. It's public. Yeah, I'm an idiot. Mr. Wipeout saying I'm gonna buy the next one. You're hilarious. Benito saying we'll take it, Wheezy. And Jacob saying, but as soon as gambling is legal in my state, bet your ass I will be. Appreciate you, Jacob. And Mr. Wipeout saying, you're the man, Wheezy. I'll stop stealing next time. Yeah, just stop stealing next time, you guys. Dravi, my guy, saying smash the likes for Wheezy boys. I appreciate you, Dravi. Love to have Dravi on this show, man. The Dravi's a sharp-ass dude who's up just an absolute pile of units this year. He's got a really good gambling process, and it shows in his results. So it'd be really cool to have Dravi sharing the screen with me here and going over some prop bets at some point. Antonio Esparza saying, yo, what's up to everybody's favorite aunt? Good to see you, Antonio. We got House of Pain Michael saying, Wheezy, great stats guy, but got to work on the business side. He's so right, dude. I really do. Free equals 0 equals no ring-a-ding-ding. Yeah, I know, man. I fucked up making this one public. We got, I don't bet, but I'm going to join the Patreon to support. I appreciate you, Radislav. That means a lot, man. We got House of Pain saying, come on, guys, $5, not even the cost of that coffee you got. Yeah, I know, man. Coffee's expensive, dude, but I make my own at home. I buy the beans. I grind them myself. Got to have the good coffee, man. It's so important. All right, we got Benito saying, Silva finish only is plus 185. Wow. Bruno Silva finish only is plus 185. That's crazy. That we've got to add to the list. Thank you for giving me a heads up on that, Benito. I didn't even see that. That's insane. Ismael decision only, minus 145. Not bad. Might look at that. Yeah, because Bruno Silva is just not a great minute winner. That is for sure. He's not going to win a lot of minutes, and he relies on the big shot. And that's why I like Ismael by decision. I think he's younger, he's faster, he'll probably land more and do more, and I think he might get a takedown or two. So what's my bet? What's the best way to use your data for daily fantasy? So that's a good question, but for daily fantasy, I do offer these rows 30 through 39 of everybody's AS tab is their advanced stats tab. And what this does is it's going to show you work rate per minute, striking work rate per minute, grappling work rate per minute, how many points somebody scores per fight in each organization, DraftKings, FanDuel, Prize Picks, Underdog. So when you have access to this information, you can compare and contrast it against their opponents. For instance, you look for fighters that are fighting people with bad defense. You know, you could see here that this is Ismael Naurdiev is scoring 2.68 and he's allowing 2.56. You know, so he's got a little bit better defense than he has offense. He's a little bit harder to score points against. And you can look at the per fight stats, in defense and offense. You can look at the per minute stats. You can look at how, you know, whether the people somebody scores points with their striking or their grappling, and it's basically different people use it in different ways, but all the information is available. So you can compare and contrast. Like Bruno Silva only scores 2.75. So, neither one of these guys is even scoring 3 DraftKings points per minute, which is about what you need to be about average. So you can look at all of these, and you can also compare those. Like, for instance, for Prize Picks and Underdog, you can look at how many points somebody's supposed to score fantasy-wise. Now in Prize Picks, like somebody like Bruno Silva scoring about 4.07 Prize Picks points per minute. He's allowing 4.98 Prize Picks points per minute. So like somebody like Ismael Naurdiev, is fighting a guy who's allowing 5 points per minute. So you could do that 5 points per minute. Say 75 points would be a decision if the fight went the full 15 minutes. You could expect maybe 75 points, and then you can figure out what percentage of a chance he has to win the fight. That's the percentage chance that he gets that win bonus, and then compare that to the Prize Picks total and determine whether it's going to go over or not. So it has all the information, and there's a number of different ways that all this information could be used to help you make better decisions with DFS lineups, with Prize Picks plays, with underdog plays. So yeah, and ring a ding ding, you guys. We got a $5 donation, so appreciate you, Radoslav. And we got my guy Elijah Dream in the room saying, "Oi, what is up, Elijah Dream?" All right, you guys, let's move on to this next fight. Rinat Fakhretdinov minus 240, Leal plus 205, under 2.5 rounds is plus 160 for this fight. Let's get this up here. So we got a 4-fight sample size on the Fakhretdinov side, a no-fight sample size on the Leal side. Leal, 12 of 20 wins on the regional scene in 3-round fights come inside the distance. 10 are by knockout, 2 are by submission. 7 fights have went to decision. 4 of them unanimous, 3 of them split decisions. So this guy's been in a lot of close decisions. Fakhretdinov has 1 win by, one win by inside the distance, 3 wins by decision. Carlos Leal does not get finished a lot. So I think that Fakhretdinov's striking is going to be on right there with Leal's early. I think as the fight goes on, you're going to see that Leal is the better striker here. He switches stances. He's got power in both hands. But both of these guys do have power early in fights. Fakhretdinov is going to be the guy that has the wrestling upside here. I think his cardio problems are being a little bit overblown. He's been in very high-paced fights. Show me somebody who doesn't get tired against Nicholas Dalby, and I'll show you a guy that's on all the EPO in the world. People are like, oh, he got 10-8'd by, Elizu Zaleski dos Santos. Elizu landed 1 body kick 3.5 minutes into round number 3. That really hurt Rinat, but Rinat showed a ton of heart, durability. So I think that this fight is going to go the distance. In terms of the over-unders here, we got a fight goes to decision at minus 170. 4 of 5 Fakhretdinov fights have seen the scorecards. 11 of 25 Leal fights have seen the scorecards on the regional scene. So I do think that this fight is going to go to decision. Let's see if that line has changed at all. Because now I got the under 2.5 at plus 170. I got the yes at minus 175 and the over at minus 210. Minus 175. Yeah, so we're right about the same here. I don't know what you guys are thinking. I don't think that this fight's going to finish inside the distance. So I do like the fight goes here at minus 170, and I like Rinat by decision at minus 110. But since I like the fight goes to decision, I would be really remiss if I didn't give you guys Carlos Leal by decision at plus 450. Because if Fakhretdinov is not getting a lot of takedowns and control time, this is going to be on the feet, and it's going to be a very close fight on the feet. Leal's striking is the real deal. So I'm going to give you guys a fight goes to decision here because I do like this over here. Both of these guys are extremely durable. And in 2024, in the second half of the year after the glove switch, if I see 2 durable guys in a fight and I don't see either one of them as a massive submission threat, I'm liking fight goes. So fight goes to decision, minus 170 could be a potential parlay piece. Fakh, Hretdinov by decision is minus 110. That is my stylistic read. And then Leal by decision, because I don't think he's finishing Fakhretdinov. He's way too durable. But I think Leal's best path here is by decision, plus 450. That's a big number. And this guy Leal is a good fucking fighter. And I know that there's a lot of people on him this week. The line used to be a lot wider on Rinat, and the money is just steadily coming in on the Leal side. And I believe that's a lot of sharp money coming in on the Leal side. The guy's the real deal. But to have Fakhretdinov by decision at minus 110, Leal by decision at plus 450, they're telling you like 80% of that decision equity is on that Fakhretdinov side. So I think it's a lot closer to 50-50 if this does get the full 15 minutes and Fakhretdinov isn't having a ton of success with the wrestling, grappling, top control, ground and pound, and advancing to dominant positions. Let's see what you guys are saying in the chat here. Okay, I'm glad that you thought that was helpful. Thank you for the donation, Radoslav. Appreciate you. Yeah, I'm still doing Stat Diggers with Brady. Absolutely. Every Sunday, 6:15 Central Time, 7:15 Eastern Time. Stat Diggers. We do it every damn week, man. And we do it on DFS by the Numbers YouTube channel. Olajuwon Dream, they just did one on Sunday. Yes, sir. Leal is a juggernaut. He's a good player. Yeah, I mean, I think that he's very powerful. I love the stance switching, and he's got power. Dude's built like a fucking fire hydrant. We got Jackie Paper in the room saying, Wheezy, you the man. Appreciate you, Jackie. Thanks for hanging out, man. 6 undefeated fighters on this card. Who's going to lose their O? Is Cerqueira undefeated? I mean, I don't think he's ever fought anyone with a pulse, so I could see him losing his O. I don't know. I don't know who else. We'll talk about it. We got Unk. Do you feel warranted to bet on every fight on the card, or do you stay strict and bet on? Oh, yeah, I do not feel warranted to bet on every fight on the card. I know that because I'm a capper, I do kind of have to make a prediction on every fight on the card. But yeah, definitely do not feel compelled to bet on every fight. The bookies have to make the lines. We don't have to bet them. Yeah, I hear you, man. Yeah, Cerqueira is undefeated. Yep. And yeah, I haven't seen Leal really get out grappled, and I think he's better on the feet. Yeah, so then you're going to like that Leal by decision at plus 450. That's a really good number. But let's move on to this next fight. Basharat, Hugo. Basharat minus 650. Hugo plus 475. Fight doesn't go to decision here at plus 155 for this fight. That's one that I do like here. I think fight doesn't go to decision is a little bit sneaky here. And actually, it's plus 170 now. So I actually like that a lot better. Let me just change that. Put that back up there. So, yeah, plus 170. And we got Farid now is minus 800 and plus 550. So let me put that in the batting template. Minus 800. 550 for Hugo. And then if we look here, Farid Basharat inside the distance, I've got at about a 29% implied probability. And Victor Hugo, I've got at 0% because we've only got a 1-fight sample size. But he's got a 17 out of 25 fight finish rate on the regional scene. And he's got a really tricky submission game. So I think that there's some finish upside here for Hugo. I think that there's definitely finish upside for Basharat by submission or by a ground and pound KO. My model probably thinks that, well, I mean, it's a small sample size, so the model isn't really that important for this one. But I tend to think that Farid by KO is interesting at plus 170. Oh, come on. Yeah, it's 11.4% better than the divisional benchmark of 48.44%. And Farid might be just way better than Victor on the ground. And one of the things that I'm seeing here is that Victor loves to go for leg locks. And when you do that, you put yourself in really bad positions. It's a high risk, high reward type of move, because you can easily finish with leg locks and you can easily get your head pounded through the canvas going for leg locks. So I like that he goes for leg locks, because those are the kind of grappling situations that breed finishes one way or another, because it's a high risk maneuver. So you know, whenever you got a guy that's minus 650 to win the fight, I mean, that you know, one of these lines is correct. Either Farid Basharat's minus 650 to win this fight, or the fight is plus 170, you know, to finish inside the distance. Which is it? You know, I mean, are they really saying that Farid has no chance to finish this guy Hugo, who, despite, I mean, like the regional scene record for Hugo looks pretty good, but if you dive a little bit deeper and you see these veterans that he's beating, they're nobodies. They don't have wins over anybody. They lose to good fighters, but they, you know, you look at who they've beaten and you're like, I don't recognize any of these guys. So I do like a fight doesn't go to decision here at plus 170. Small sample size, so the data isn't much help. But my stylistic read on this fight, if you look here on the is Farid Basharat by third round knockout. I think that, you know, this could be a situation takedowns where he's wearing on Hugo, and that Hugo's getting himself put into bad spots, and that it's easier as the fight goes on for Farid to get the takedowns. And once it's easier to get the takedowns, it's easier to advance to those dominant positions where you can either find the ground and pound that finishes the fight or the submission that finishes the fight. So Farid Basharat inside the distance is something that has my eye this week, as well as the fight doesn't go to decision. So I'm going to put fight doesn't go to decision here at plus 170. I think that's a pretty good read. I like Basharat by KO. Let's see what Basharat rounds 2 and 3 is. But he got his only finish was first round. So yeah, Basharat round 2 plus 750 plus 950 for round 3. It's not terrible. Yeah, there's nothing really spectacular out here. Basharat by KO at plus 800 could be really interesting, because that brings in the ground and pound KO. And if we're getting plus 170 and Basharat inside the distance is only plus 195, I think that's, oh wow, Victor Hugo by submission is plus 2400. Victor Hugo does have a pretty slick ground game. So like, it's a 2400 shot. It's worth mentioning there. And then I also think that Basharat by KO at plus 800 is interesting. But yeah, I like that fight doesn't go to decision at plus 170. That'll be something I might play for a unit this week. Yeah, I like that. I like that. Let's see what you guys are saying in the chat here. It could be a ground and pound or a submission. Yeah, and I also think that plus 2400 for a Victor Hugo leg lock in a scramble, it could happen, you know, because the thing with a leg lock is you don't never necessarily even get time to tap if you wind up in the wrong spot, and he is pretty good with them. So I would rather play that fight doesn't go to decision, because the difference between fight doesn't go to decision at plus 170 and Basharat inside the distance at plus 190, it's just not enough implied probability wise for me to say like, oh, well, what if Farid gets hurt? You know, what if Hugo lands a perfect calf kick and the peroneal nerve shuts down and he gets drop foot? What if he gets caught in a leg lock in a scramble? You know, anything can happen. So I would rather play fight doesn't go to decision at plus 170 than Basharat inside the distance at plus 190. Let's see. I have 400 to win 100 on Basharat, minus 400. Should have gone heavier. Yeah, you could have already gotten out at a profit, you know. So oftentimes when you get those early lines and you think they're going to move, you can go a little bit heavier than you normally would be later in the week, because you know you got more time for that line to move. On Farid by sub at plus 300 and round 3 at plus 1200. I like both of those. Those get the stamp of approval from your Uncle Weezy, Benino. Got Farid parlayed when he was minus 450. There you go. We got MMA Jay just subscribed. Hell yeah, Jay. I'm glad, dude. Thank you. And everybody that is watching, check out that link, the top link. $5 for 1 month of this UFC probability stats package that includes this probability show, balls deep breakdowns. It includes the fight write-ups for every fight on the card. It includes all of these stats, the betting models, the advanced stats, the matchup stats with the distance striking numbers in there and the divisional benchmarks in there, the over-under betting model, the prop betting model, access to my track bets, access to the Discord, 80% off. I'm trying to grow this community so that we can all help each other make more money going forward, and the results are speaking for themselves. You can talk to anybody that's on the Patreon or the Dub Club right now. We're on a heater. The picks are on point. The research is thorough and well taken care of, and all the available information is laid out all at your fingertips so that you can make better decisions. So thank you, JJ or MMAJ, for subscribing. Uncle Weezy just bless the community, all his hard work, free to the public. Support this GOAT. Oh, yeah, I appreciate you, man. Flapjack Factory, let's go. That's my whole business, Weezy. Make money arbing those opening lines. I love it, man. Free money. That arbitrage is a beautiful thing if you can make it happen. Unc, I've just noticed you cut your locks. What happened? Dude, they've been cut for a couple of months now. I had to get rid of, like, I was looking like the bass player of a doom metal band, and I just had to get it a little bit shorter here so that we could let this beautiful head of hair just kind of like be out there for the people. What's the best way to have a chin wag, Weezy? I've been at this almost a decade and would love. What is a chin wag? I don't know what a chin wag is, actually. You're gonna have to fill me in on that. But I'm always up for comparing notes, man. All right, let's move on. Oh God, Kennedy and Nzechukwu minus 750. I don't even think he's there. He might be like minus 1,000 now. Let's see. Kennedy is minus 900, and Fat Barnett is plus 600. Jesus Christ, what a fat line! I mean, did they open up all the props on this? Because they didn't even have anything yesterday. I'm gonna have to fill in these lines. Yeah. All right. Good. We finally got something on this fight. There we go. So it's minus 115 on the over under, and it's minus 400 plus 300. And let me see. So we've got like an 80% implied probability of a finish here on either side. My model has it at about 77.7%. So that there, I don't see any edge there. Nzechukwu by decision. My model kind of likes that. It also kind of likes Nzechukwu by submission at plus 550. The KO is a little bit overpriced at 61%. The inside the distance is a little bit overpriced at minus 275. I mean, this is a wasteland for value. This is a wasteland for plus EV bets. Once you get into the minus 900 range for any fighter, the props become something that you should absolutely stay away from. And this is one of those situations, you guys. So we're going to once again, like right here, I'm going to try to not bet this fight due to the lack of actionable information on the Cerqueira side. I'm going to try to not bet this fight. Sometimes the market just gets it right, you guys. And how does Fat Barnett win this fight? You know, breakdancing move? Is he doing the helicopter and then the heel just catches Nzechukwu on the chin and he knocks him out? Is it a spinning fat kick? Is he gonna roll into the fucking octagon like Kung Fu Panda and win this fight? No, probably not. You know, could Kennedy and Nzechukwu go on an absolute run in the heavyweight division? Yeah, he could. The division is that fucking bad. It's so bad. There's no talented people in that division at all. everybody pretty much sucks and has no well-rounded skill set and shitty conditioning. So a guy like Nzechukwu, he can make a big run in this division, and a guy like Fat Barnett just not going to have anything for him. So, yeah, I mean, like, if we're looking for something to bet here, I would say that you want to be smart and just stay away. Smart thing is to stay away, so we're going to do exactly that. Let's see what you guys say. Oh my God, Jay did the 25 on Patreon. Hey, Patreon Dub Club doesn't matter, man. That's the way to go. You're going to get the same content whether you're on the Patreon or the Dub Club. So appreciate you, man. Oh, a chat. Yeah, dude. We could do it, man. Like if you're following me on Twitter, I think. Just and that means I think I'm following you. DM me. We could talk, man. I could do a StreamYard call with you at some point. Too British for you. I apologize. No, I love the Brits, man. I've never heard the term chinwag before, man. Clark in the room saying, "G'day, Weez. I haven't done any research for fights this week. Too busy with work. Have I missed any important free bets that you've placed yet? Thanks as always for everything that you do. I've only got one bet so far. I like to wait until this show is over because this is where I match up my stylistic reads with all the data that I have available, and I find my favorite bets. And right now, the only bet that I have placed is on this next fight that we're going to talk about, Abus Magomedov versus Bruno Ferreira. I've got a 3-unit bet on Abus at minus 135, maybe minus 130. I forget where I got it. Let me look here. Minus 130. 3-unit bet at minus 130 on Abu Magomedov. And then what else I'm looking at here is I like Naurdiev by decision at plus 350. I'm thinking about parlaying. The fight starts round 3 for Naurdiev versus Silva. I like Fakhretdinov by decision at minus 110, but I think there's a ton of value on Leal by decision. Probably not going to touch that. If I do touch Basharat Hugo, it's going to be the fight doesn't go to decision. But yeah, that's what we've covered so far, Clark. We got Olajuwon taking a shot on the over 1.5 at plus 120, now down to minus 110. Okay, that's not bad, dude. Yeah, the over 1.5 isn't bad, dude. I mean, I'm not going to be touching this fight. This is going to be a shit show, and I'm here for it. Absolutely. Over 1.5 says Benino. Okay. We got W Uncle Weezy making fun of fat people. You know, I mean, it's Fat Barnett, man. You know, he's a fat athlete. There's a difference between MMA fat and fat. You know, if you're MMA fat, you're probably skinnier than 90% of the people that are out, just, you know, the average American, if you will. But yeah, man, Fat Barnett, when you show up heavy for a heavyweight fight, it's fucking funny. I don't care who you are. I don't use Twitter, but IG I can. Okay, I don't have Instagram. We'll figure it out, Mohammed. We'll definitely figure it out. We got just joining in for today, but loved your breakdown of comparing your dad's hard work to the even harder work, yes, that these MMA judges, the real heroes, Pores. Hopefully they don't strike this weekend. Let's hope, man. Let's hope they don't, man. What's Kennedy by cardiac arrest? That would just be the same as the inside the distance prop MMA, and I think it's juice to the tits, man. You think there's no value on Chris plus 490? I mean, there could be. Yeah, there could be value on Barnett. It's probably the side right now at plus 500, but I don't think he's any good. You know, like Kennedy and Nzechukwu is not going to get tired. He's just not going to get tired, you guys. And I mean, if he doesn't get tired, how is Barnett going to beat him? You know, so I don't know. Yeah, you got it, Clark. No problem, dude. We got I like Abus a lot, says Jacob. If Nur Sultan fucked up Ferreira, what's Abus going to do? I know it was kind of a lucky shot, but still, yeah. He's going to have trouble closing the distance against somebody who's tall and long. Dustin was piecing him up too, yeah, and then Dustin got the takedown and was rinsing him on the mat, which was a really bad look. We got Aussie Fight Fan in the room saying, "Oi, what's up, Weezy? What's up, Aussie Fight Fan?" And Paul is in the room saying, "Hey, Weezy, good to see you, Paul." For everybody that doesn't know, the Dub Club coupon right there, get you 20% off your first month of the probability stats package is in the description of this video. Check it out. But let's move on to this next fight. It is going to be Myktybek Orolbai at minus 310, going up against Mateusz Rebecki at plus 260. Fight doesn't go to decision here, sitting at minus 130 for this fight. So let me get the over-unders up here. And my model is kind of liking an early finish potentially. The fight doesn't start round 2 at plus 128. The under 1.5 at minus 120 are both plus EV bets in this 7-fight sample size. So I kind of feel like if you're looking for a finish in this fight, it's either going to be Abus rounds 1 or 2, or it's going to be Ferreira round 1 or early round 2. And, you know, those probabilities should add up to about like 54% or 65% for the fight doesn't start round 3. So we're liking a little bit of violence here in terms of the betting template. My model is showing about a 73% chance of this one finishing inside the distance. When we take that 38.3% adjusted inside the distance win condition for Magomedov, compared to the 34% or almost 35% adjusted win condition for Ferreira at in this one. So that would add up to 73%. And I've got about a 77% price on the fight doesn't go to decision here. So the bookies have priced these pretty good in terms of fight doesn't go. But if we're gonna predict a finish in this fight, I think we're gonna predict it happening in rounds 1 or 2. So let's look and see what we can find for early props. Abu round 1 plus 295. Bruno round 1 plus 380. I mean, Bruno's never really won fights outside of rounds 1 or 2. So to get his money line at plus 118, but you could get Bruno Ferreira at rounds 1 and 2 at plus 225. I think that's the way you play the Ferreira side. If you're on that Ferreira side, rounds 1 or 2 at plus 225. I like the under 1.5 rounds at minus 120. Definitely a plus EV bet. Fight doesn't start round 2 at plus 128. I think those are decent looks, but for me, it's the Abus money line at minus 140. That's the bet. That's where I want my money to be. I think Abus is just as likely to land a big shot early as Ferreira is. He's taller. He's longer. He's got the much better wins over the course of his career. He's fought the much better brand of competition. I mean, he won a round off of Caio Bahaio. You know, I mean, like this guy is, you know, people are like, oh, he gassed out against Strickland in round 2. Well, Strickland, you know, puts on constant pressure, and Abus won that first round. And would he have gassed out as badly if he didn't know that he had 4 more rounds to go instead of only 2 more rounds to go? He might have been willing to wrestle in that second round if he knew that he didn't have 20 more minutes to go, because that fight was scheduled for 5 rounds. So I think that kind of spooked Abus when he was unable to get Sean out of there. You know, this is a different story. This is a 3-round fight against a guy who's never seen a 3rd round in his career, who's never won a decision in his career, while Abus Magomedov is 6-2 to the decision in his career. So even something like Abus by decision, plus 480. I mean, like that is the most. I mean, Abus KO at plus 230 is definitely a plus EV bet according to my betting model in this small sample size. But Abus decision at plus 480. Because I think if Abus doesn't get him out of there early, it means that it's going to look a lot like the Warlley Alves fight. He's going to get on top of this dude. He's going to win a bunch of minutes, but not be able to finish him. So these are my favorite bets. Abus decision, Abus money line, and that fight doesn't start round 2 at plus 128. I think all those are plus EV bets. And then if you're on that Ferreira side, don't play the plus 115, but play him to win in rounds 1 or 2 at plus 225. You could put down half the money, win the same amount if you're right. But if you're wrong, and this thing goes into round 3, I mean, Ferreira's not really a minute winner, and he could easily get finished late in this fight if he completely falls off a cliff against a good wrestler like Abus. So, yeah, I think the Ferreira side, you play the rounds 1 or 2. But for me, I'm already on the Abus money line at minus 140, and that Abus decision at plus 480 has some teeth, in my opinion, as well. All right. And that, by the way, I had the wrong line up there. So it's Abus minus 136, Ferreira plus 116. Fight doesn't go at minus 315. And then the next fight that we're going to talk about is Mateusz Rebecki versus Myktybek Orolbai. Let me get these stats up here on the screen for you guys. And let's see what you guys are saying in the chat. Honestly, I couldn't touch that. Yeah, I mean, the guy is a liability. He really is, dude. He just pissed it away at minus 700 last time out. So I remember betting Budai by KO. What a bad beat. Yeah, he had him, dude. And that was the thing. Barnett was trying to fake like he couldn't go on trying to get the DQ. And then when they told him, hey, look, we're not giving him a DQ. Either you can continue or you can't. Then he was like, okay, I'll continue. And then they were like, you know what? Technical decision. They kind of caught him. Surely we get 50 likes this instant. Yeah, hit that like button. I mean, you guys don't want to pay $5 for the Dub Club. At least hit the like button. You can help me out with that. I'll get paid nothing for it, but it would still be nice. We got Ferreira plus 125. That's a good line. Tehran in the room saying, what's up, Uncle? Oh, what's up, dude? Benito saying, why not just play Ferreira by KO at plus 245? I mean, 245, or you're getting 225 for rounds 1 or 2, and because the potential that he gets a club and sub, that's why. So I wouldn't do that. The difference between 225 and 245 is too small to throw out that possibility of the submission against somebody like Abus who might be wrestling. Decision props are the way to go with the new gloves. I could not agree more, Hunter. I love decision props right now. I'm playing as many as possible. I also, Bruno round 1 KO at plus 500. I like that. I think that's his best path to victory for sure. Don't you think Ruzaboyev and Orolbai look alike? No, I mean, I don't think anybody looks like Orolbai. I mean, I don't think anybody's looked like that dude for thousands of years. And it's he's 26 years old, but he's not 26. It's just 26 years since he got unfrozen from the block of ice that they found him in somewhere in Kyrgyzstan. This guy is thousands of years old. He's just been, what do you call it? Preserved. The ice preserves you. I don't know if you guys saw Encino Man, but Myktybek Orolbai is like the modern day version, the true version of the film Encino Man from the 80s. He does he's much bigger than him. And I just hate betting on fight goes to decision. It's so bad from a fan perspective. I know it is. You're right. That's why the decision props I think are a little bit better. But when we look at, I like the Orolbai, or wait a second, I like the Rebecki money line here at plus 260-ish. I think decision is live for Rebecki. I think submission is live for Rebecki, and I think KO is live for Rebecki. So in that case, I feel as if the money line is the best way to play it. And Orolbai submission, he's got 10 wins inside the distance, 2 wins by decision on the regional scene, and he's got just as many knockouts as he does decisions. So it really does like the inside the distance at plus 140 a lot better than the sub or the KO. I could see this fight going the full 15, but I could also see it finishing inside the distance. In terms of just, let's see here. We got 18% here. We got 50% here. So it's telling me about a 69% chance of finish, but we're only paying 56. I could see this fight finishing inside the distance. I guess I don't mind a fight doesn't go to decision here because of the pace that Rebecki pushes. I think he can get people out of there early. And I think that if he doesn't, he might gas out like he did in the Ferreira fight and be able to be finished late himself. And a guy like Orolbai, who attempted 16 takedowns in the last fight that he had against Brenner, could be pushing a pace into the third round when we see Rebecki extremely tired. And the way that Rebecki comes out redlining, just throwing everything hard early, I could see this fight finishing inside the distance. I do like the Rebecki money line at plus 260. It's just a big fat number. I feel like I might be putting a unit on that or a half unit on that. But in terms of what I'm seeing here in the models, it definitely likes the unders. And I think Orolbai inside the distance at plus 140. I feel like we have to do better than that. But boy, I mean, Rebecki inside the can't be right. 475 can't be right. Let's see what they have for inside the distance. Plus 300 here. Let's see what they have here. I might have written this down wrong. Or 60 on Rebecki inside the distance. Wow, 475. Even better. 475. So look, if we like Rebecki inside the distance at plus 475, what does rounds 1 and 2 come out to? So if we Dutched rounds 1 and 2 here, 1,200, round 2 is 1,300. So let me get my de facto bet calculator up here. $1,200 and $1,300. We could get a plus 574 if we were to play these Rebecki 1 and 2 props at plus 1,200 and plus 1,300 and size it in this fashion. We could actually get for a 1 unit bet with a $100 unit size. We could Dutch it at plus 574, and you could put 0.519 units or $51.85 on Rebecki round 1 and put 481 units or $48.15 on Rebecki round 2. That would come out to plus 574. That's going to be something I might play this week. Rounds 1 or 2 Dutch or plus 574, I think is what we saw. Plus 574. I like that because Rebecki comes out so hot. If his money line is plus 260 and his, rounds 1 and 2 is plus 574, and I think that's how he does his best work, I think that could be a great one because then we don't have to worry about him gassing out. If he doesn't get the finish, you don't have to worry about him falling off a cliff in the third. And then on the Orolbai side, I think he's a good fighter, but at minus 310, I think that line is just wrong. I don't think there's a very high likelihood that he wins the first round. I think Rebecki's winning that first round. And then I think so if you're on Orolbai, live entry after 6 or 7, I think that would be the best way to play the Orolbai side. Let's see what you guys are saying in the chat here. We got Yitro in the room saying, Weez just signed up 20 minutes ago. Welcome, Yitro. And for all of you guys who are listening, get in on it. $5, 80% off the Dub Club probability stats package. It normally costs $25 a month. It's only $5 a month. Link is in the description of the video. You can hit that promo code. You'll get a month subscription, $5, 4 hours of weekly exclusive content, fight write-ups, probability, balls deep breakdowns, access to the Discord, access to the track bets, access to the fight write-ups, access to the betting models and the over-under and betting prop betting models, the matchup stats, the individual fighter stats. Link in the description of the video. Check it out, you guys. Rebecki plus 3.5. I like that one as well. I actually had that written down. I actually had Petrosyan plus 3.5 written down. Let's see what Rebecki plus 120. I like that a lot. I like that a lot. Thank you for pointing that one out. Closing time, Ilya time, third round KO. Yeah, man. Yeah, dude, I think that's a really good play for sure. It's plus 110. It's plus 120 actually on Bet Online. So that's a really good look. Rebecki's cardio didn't scare you at all. He got KO'd late last time out. Yeah, but I mean, like, that's by Carlos Diego Ferreira. Carlos Diego Ferreira is a better fighter than Orolbai. So yeah, I mean, but it did scare me. That's why I think that you play the rounds 1 and 2, and then that way you don't have to worry about the cardio. He either gets him out of there in rounds 1 or 2, or then maybe he fades out late. Do I have a favorite dog for this week? Not really, dude. I'm picking all favorites this week. It's just the way that my research went, but we'll talk about it later on for sure. Yeah, so this month would only be $5, and then next month you go back to $25. But you can obviously, if you don't want to pay $25 and you just want to see what it's like, you can cancel before the end of the month, and then you won't get re-upped at $25 a month. But yeah, it's a $25 a month value that I want people to sign up and do for $5, because I think what they're going to find is that they're going to say, holy shit, I can't believe how much information I'm getting weekly for $6.25 a week. So I want you guys to try it out. And I figure that if I give you 80% off this month, there's a very good chance that you're going to re-up next month and join the community of people that I've already built here with this amazing product that I've created. Yeah. I think that is probably going to go over 2.5 as well. Yes. They're both so good, so confident, so tough, and so competitive for sure. All right, you guys, let's move on to this next fight. It's a fight that I am not going to be touching. But I do think that Geoff Neal is going to win here, and I think Geoff Neal by KO, according to my model, at plus 215 is a pretty good bet. But I mean, actually, I would rather just play the inside the distance. Well, no, because nobody's submitting Rafael dos Anjos. That's the problem. Most of all, not Geoff Neal, but yeah, Geoff Neal by KO. I think the plus 215 is a fairly good. And like, if you look at the Geoff Neal by decision prop at plus 115, it's just way overpriced according to my model. But you also got to remember that, Dos Anjos is very durable. So it's going to be hard to finish Dos Anjos. So if he doesn't, I think plus be the way to go. But either way, I don't see much of a chance here for Dos Anjos. The most plus EV bet on that side is, I guess it's the decision prop at plus 480. And in terms of the overs, unders here, my data likes the unders a little bit better. But nothing's really sticking out here, you guys. I'm fine passing on this one. I hope you guys are too, because I don't like it at all. So let's just move on to this next fight. Magomedov versus Petrosyan. This is an interesting one. There's a couple of spots that are already sticking out that I've written up here. First of all, fight goes to decision at minus 250. Fight starts round 3 at minus 335. These are spots that could be potential parlay pieces, in my opinion, this week. But I'm going to give you guys the fight starts round 3, minus 225. Was that minus 335? My bad. Petrosyan by decision at plus 260. I love this line. Shara has got a fucking chin on him. You're not knocking that dude out. This guy eats clean shots and just smiles that toothless grin back at you. So I think Petrosyan, almost all of his win condition here is going to be by decision. And people are like, well, Shara's ground game is trash. Couldn't he submit him? Guys, Petrosyan doesn't know how to spell sub, you know? So, I mean, I think it's going to be KO or bust here. And because you're not KO Shara Magomedov, I think that the best plus EV bet on this one here is that Petrosyan by decision. You can see it right here at plus 260. It's overpriced according to the benchmark for the division, but here you can see a couple of big green bars here, and that's because all three of Petrosyan's wins are by decision, and because Magomedov is a very durable guy. I just think that you're getting a difference of 15% between Petrosyan's money line at plus 138. That translates to 42%, but his decision prop at plus 260, that translates to 27.78%. So I think that is a pretty good way to play the Petrosyan side. Also, I think that the Petrosyan plus 3.5 points handicap is minus 175. That is a good looking play as well, because I think that this fight is going to play out very close. Shara by KO at plus 340. I think that that's possible. I think that that's actually a pretty good plus EV bet. We've seen Petrosyan knocked out before in the first round by a pretty lousy fighter, actually. So, and when you look at Petrosyan's recent opponents, Gregory Rodriguez, Bohayo, Dobson, Duncan, Vieira, you know, not exactly like these crazy finishers either. So, yeah, man, this could be a spot where Shara lands a cheeky kick and finds the KO here. It's not like he hasn't been KO'd before. Shara's decision prop at plus 135, just not a lot of meat on the bone there. And I do think that Shara's finish only prop is a very safe play this week as well, because I think he has almost all of the finish upside here. So Shara finish only, I'll write that down too. Finish only. Yeah, I'm liking overs here. I'm thinking it's going to be a very close fight. So, you know, I think that Petrosyan by decision at plus 260 is probably worth a half unit. Petrosyan plus 3.5 points handicap could be a potential parlay piece this week. Finish only at minus 210, I think it was, for Shara, I think is fairly safe as well. So I think that's a great way to look at these fights. Let's see what you guys are saying in the chat. Clark H, lots of bettors on Armen. Brady thinks takedowns might be in play. Shara almost fraud checked last fight. I kind of like Armen. Yeah, I don't mind it at all, dude. We got Olajuwon. He likes Pirates. Yeah, I mean, Pirates are fun. They say R, and they've got the eye patch, and they sing drinking songs. They have long hair. They dress really snazzy, so I don't mind them either. Randy Fowler, my guy, he likes turtles. Some people like Ninja Turtles, the mutant ones. Turtles are slow, though. They're slow, but they live a long time. You know, it's like one step at a time, take things slow, take things cautious. But because of the lack of stress and the lack of urgency, there's not a lot of stress there. They live pretty long. Yeah, one of my favorite parlay pieces this week. I agree, man. I think it's a very, very safe play. We got Jacob saying, I'm picking Armen specifically because I watched him go blow for blow with RoboCop. That was a great fight. Yeah. If this one-eyed guy can only fight in Saudi, why is he on the roster? No American doctor will let him fight in the U.S. They might. They might. It depends. It's all about money. You know, if some sheik goes over there to some, you know, mid-level doctor at the Nevada Boxing Commission and hands him a fat envelope, believe me, Shara will fight in Vegas. We just got, you know, it's got the right people got to get behind him. Fight to go to split in the Ige fight plus 300. That's not bad. Cuban Assassin in the room saying, Wheezy Wheeze, I'm canceling my Grinder subscription to upgrade to the Patreon Premium, brother. Let's go stack the jacks. Yeah, dude, that's awesome, man. Yeah, get rid of the grinder, get that off of your phone, and let's grind on these bookies. Let's grind on their profits. Let's do that, man. I agree. Let's go, Cuban Assassin. We got Antonio Esparza. Can you explain double chance? Shara to win by sub or points. If Shara wins by KO, the bet loses. Yes, sir. So it's just a way of using like this ARB calculator here that I've created this de facto bet calculator where you could take 2 or 3 bets and then find out what it comes out to de facto. Where like for instance, because they have some of these double chance fights here in the parlay. Is it the parlays that do the double chance? No. Maybe method. Do they have the? No, they don't have that. But like for instance, right? You could do Orolbai by decision, Orolbai by KO, right? 165 and 320. And that would be 165 and 320 minus 160 line that you see right here, and it's just a simple calculation that you do in order to compute that. So yeah, that's what it's doing. It's just saying that Shara can win by submission or by decision, and it's going to give you a line on those 2 outcomes. We got shown off saying, damn, Monk, I heard you hanging up the YouTube gloves. Love your content. It's well appreciated. Got to look into the Patreon. Oi. Yeah, man, I'm just trying to do, this was supposed to be a private video and I fucked up and I made it public. But yeah, I'm doing this content every year for my Patreon, or every week for my Patreon people, like 4 hours, because like a YouTube channel, when you do the kind of content that us, MMA bet content creators do, your content has a lifespan of about 4 days, and then nobody's ever going to watch it again. So you have to work every single week to generate these views, and the views come out to maybe $10 a week in terms of revenue. So it's like you show up here, you put 5-6 hours worth of content out there for free, and then YouTube only pays you if you make $100 in a month. So sometimes to do all that work and then receive $100 every 2 months or something like that, when you could just get that money for 4 people signing up that give a shit enough about the content that they're actually willing to support you financially for it. I'd rather speak to 4 people that pay me $25 a month than 1,000 people that don't give me shit. So that's just how that's why I'm doing it like this now. That's why I put it behind the paywall on Patreon on Dub Club, because I think the content is worth something. I think people do appreciate it, and I think when they realize that it's gone, that they're going to realize that what else is available isn't necessarily as well researched or well thought out as what I do. And my hope is that people will find value in the work and therefore want to support it. And I'm giving you guys a chance to support it for 80% off if you sign up to the Dub Club, and you're going to get an idea for that $5. You're going to get a month's worth of content, 4 hours worth of exclusive content every single week, just in videos like this, and then all the models, all the stats. And I think it's going to help you guys do better too. So I hope that you'll want to re-up at $25 a month. Yeah, he has his eye on the prize for sure. Is this daycare or fight predictions? We got overs are good, parlayed them for sure. We got I hate pirates and turtles. Good afternoon to the MMA Onk. Oi, we got Stacy and Paul. We got Poor's Wolf saying, I'm quitting my Tinder plus my membership to join your Patreon. I'm ready to F these bookies. Appreciate you, man. And we got MMA J. Should I put 100 on Minnesota minus 2.5? Yeah, I think so. I like the Vikings tonight. I think they should beat the Rams. I'm not high on the Rams. I think the Rams are absolutely awful right now. Their offensive line is in shambles. I think they got Nakua and Cup coming back this week, but it's going to take a while for that chemistry to build up. And Minnesota's got a really good defense. So I do think that Minnesota gets the win tonight. I'm holding out for your OnlyFans page, Onk. Yeah, we got I'm in negotiations with some people there, but yeah, we're gonna start taking off clothes if that's what it takes to get the support. It's good, Unc. We out here exposed. Yeah. The stream was supposed to be private and you made this public. Yes, I did. And the Rams D is trash. Yeah, it's supposed to be only for my Patreon people. But I accidentally made it public. Yeah. And then we got Justin in here saying Rams suck, but they always mess up my parlays. Yeah, I bet against them once earlier this year. And we got my guy Kiwi Brew in the room. What's up, Kiwi? Good to see you hanging out in here. But all right, you guys, let's move on to this next fight. It is going to be Magomed Ankalaev versus Aleksandar Rakic. I think that this line is too wide. Let me get my stats back up here for you guys. All right. I think this line is too wide. Ankalaev is a guy that kind of fights within the margins. He's very low volume, 7.8 distance strike attempts per minute, 2 less than the divisional average, 3.3 takedown attempts per minute. That's actually 0. Or per fight. That's 0.4 less than the divisional average. He's low volume everywhere. He just doesn't do a lot. While Rakic is somebody that's a little more active on the feet. He's got great leg kicks. He's the same age. He's probably a little bit faster. He's taller. He's longer than Ankalaev. Similar amount of pro and UFC experience as well against a similar level of opponents. So I think that this fight is going to play out really close. I think the Aleksandar Rakic. So wait, let me first. Ankalaev by decision is the pick. And my best bets were Rakic by decision at plus 550. You can actually get that at plus 700. I like that Rakic plus 3.5 points handicap. And I think Ankalaev by decision at minus 105. These are all good spots in my opinion. So I'll put all of these on the probability page here because I do like all of these. And let's crank that up to 17. And let's get that up. All right. Yeah, Rakic by decision is plus 700 right now on Bet Rivers Sportsbook. I think he's going to keep this fight close. Rakic plus 3.5 points handicap was plus 125. I think it's plus 110 now. Let me look. Plus 110 on DraftKings. And on Bet Rivers, what was it? Yeah, plus 110. It's plus 110. So we get that number corrected because I was looking at it at plus 125 earlier in the week. And then Ankalaev by decision. It's the best line we can get on that. There we go. Method, Ankalaev by decision is minus 109. I do think that that is the most likely path here. If we look at my over-under betting model, it's showing about a 42% chance of this fight finishing inside the distance. So my model actually likes those as being underpriced for violence here. And then if I look at the betting template, and I add up the inside the distance win condition for Ankalaev and Rakic, I'm getting about 59%. So 59% compared to 42%. So it still kind of likes it. You know, it still kind of says that this is underpriced a little bit for these unders. So if the fight were to finish inside the distance, I think we'd be looking more likely at an Ankalaev KO. I kind of feel like he's got more finishing upside being the big favorite here and being a guy that's really never been in a lot of trouble on the feet. So Ankalaev KO is plus 230, and that is definitely a plus EV bet on my model here, 34.30. Yeah, Ankalaev inside the distance at plus 205, Ankalaev KO at plus 230. Those are the plus EV bets on the Ankalaev side, and then it's definitely that at plus 700. So plus 230, and then Ankalaev plus 210. I think it was plus 230 and plus 205. My model likes both of those as plus EV. And then Ankalaev by decision at minus 105 is my stylistic read on the fight. But if my stylistic read is that it's going to be close and that Ankalaev wins by decision, and I'm getting minus 105 on Ankalaev decision, but I'm getting plus 700 on Rakic decision, and I think that the Rakic leg kicks are going to play a part here. That Rakic by decision is I'm probably going to play a unit on that plus 3.5 points handicap at plus 110. And then I think I might get a little bit cheeky, you guys, and maybe throw a half unit on Rakic by decision plus 700. That way, if Rakic wins a decision, I'm looking at a 4.6 unit win there. And that would be a good backbreaker for the bookies if I were to be able to hit something like that. And I just see this fight going the full 15 when I look at it stylistically. Since the glove switch, I see a lot more overs. I'm a lot more confident playing overs and decision props. And, Ankalaev is just not that great of a minute winner. So why not back Rakic by decision at plus 700? Let's see what you guys are saying in the chat here. Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. But, they do show him the door. He's been finished twice. But think about it. Only one of those is a real finish. And that's Yuri. Yuri finishes everybody. I mean, like Ankalaev, he just sometimes fights at a pace where it would take him 37 rounds to get a finish. So we just don't know which version of Ankalaev we're going to see here. But yeah, he could absolutely get it. I've never seen Rakic look more jacked and locked in before. Bro looks like a killer. I have a little Rakic plus 300, but expect Ankalaev loving casual parlays this weekend. Agreed. Yes, and of course, we got Sultry Vanessa on the desktop background. That is one of my favorite Tapology pictures. You got the smoke over there on the right. You could see it there. I don't know if you can't see my mouse, unfortunately, but yeah, the smoke is on the right. She's got the LFA strawweight championship belt over her shoulder. You got the fuck me eyes, like the tousled hair that looked like she just got bent over a washing machine. You gotta love this picture. I think it's phenomenal stuff. Anyway, let's see. We got can you tell me both guys? Yes, I can. Of course I can fucking tell you that. It's your Uncle Wheezy. We got Magomed Ankalaev has got 86.4% takedown defense. He gets taken down 0.3 times on times per 15 minutes. Aleksandar Rakic has shown 85% takedown defense. He gets taken down 0.5 times on 3.2 attempts. Yeah, he was smacking Yuri in round one, but keep in mind, Yuri's defense is horrible. And Ankalaev is very defensively responsible at 61% at range. So it's going to be a lot harder to hit somebody like Ankalaev, who A, is going to be waiting to counter you, and B, keeps his hands up and is a lot more defensively responsible. Yeah, he looks like he used a time machine to go clothes shopping. If he fought as well as he dressed, I'd bet my house on Rakic. I know, dude. How are the new gloves different than the previous ones? I thought only the finger part has been changed to prevent eye pokes. So how does it affect the punches? When you read the statement from the UFC on the new gloves, the word safety appears 8 or 9 times. So it's not just about curving the fingers. It's also about the padding that's in the gloves. It's different than the padding that was in the previous gloves. Now, there's also something that we have to think about in terms of why they might be less finishes. These are new gloves. There is a change. That means that we might see these people get used to the gloves and understand how to best optimize their ability to land big shots with them. That's going to come with time as well. But in the meantime, when you look at the knockout rates as compared to the historical knockout rates, the change is enough that when you analyze it statistically, the statistics are telling you, and they're not just telling you, they're in your face and they're screaming at you. Something is wrong here. These numbers are 2 standard deviations outside of where it should be if these gloves weren't changing anything. So I don't know the specifics about how it's affecting. We can come to a lot of conjectures about why there are less, but there are less, and the stats are saying it's an alarming amount. So we have to keep an eye on it. Overs are good again. Hey, yeah, I know, man. They really are. Daz says, my guy Kiwi. Stacy saying Ankalaev was told by the UFC to make the fight exciting. Good luck with that. Yuri is terrible defensively. Yes, he is. He is absolutely terrible. It's got a lot of layers of padding instead of just one pad. Yep. Yeah. Rakic decision seems like great value. It does seem like great value. And then, that's the thing about value bets, Daz Files. Like when you're looking at a plus 700 value bet, you got to look through it through the lens of, even if this should be plus 300, it's still only going to cash 25% of the time. So you got to really watch how you make those bets, because sometimes you're going to hit them, sometimes you're not, but it's about how much value there is on them and how much and how you manage your bankroll to make those plays. But let's move on to this next fight, which is going to be Dan Ige versus Lerone Murphy. This one is a fight that I definitely see going to decision, and that's the way the market is seeing it as well. We've got a minus 350 fight goes to decision here. 55% of fights in the featherweight division see the scorecards, but the implied probability of the fight goes to decision here is 78%. So, the market is just overpricing this line more and more and more as more people say Ige's not getting knocked out, and Ige is probably not knocking out Lerone Murphy because Lerone Murphy's so defensively sound. So instead of betting the minus 350 fight goes to decision, I think that all the value is on Lerone Murphy's decision prop. Right now, we can get Lerone Murphy's decision prop. Minus 136 is about the best that's going to be available, and it's a must play. Look, Dan Ige's never been finished. If we look at my stats here and we look at these incredibly important distance striking stats that you see in this box right here, Dan Ige lands 4.2 and he absorbs 4.2. He's got power. He's landed 6 knockdowns in 17 UFC fights. 4 of his 10 UFC wins come by way of knockout. This guy is a moment winner. He's not a minute winner. At the UFC level, he's 5-7 to the decision. At the UFC level, Lerone Murphy is 4-0 with a draw to the decision. Lerone Murphy lands 6.8 distance strikes per minute and only absorbs 3.7. So a guy like Murphy is very difficult to win minutes against on the feet. And he's got 64% distance striking defense, and he's only been dropped once in 7 UFC fights. So if we're finding out that Dan Ige is almost impossible to finish, if the fight goes to decision is sitting at minus 350 or a 78% implied probability, why not just play that Murphy by decision? He's the same age as Dan. He's taller, he's longer, he's faster, and he's just a much better boxer. And he's a lot more defensively sound as well. So this is a fight that I think we're getting a gift of a line on Murphy decision. And I think a lot of people are unwilling to play it because it's got a minus in front of it. But I do believe that this is the best line and the easiest way to play that fight. And then not only that, we can always look at a Dan Ige finish only prop. It might not cash, but it won't lose, So Dan Ige finish only is always something here, but this is Murphy by decision at minus 136. It's going to be a track bet for me this week, and it'll probably be at least 1.5 units, maybe 2 units to try to win 1.5 here on Murphy by decision. This is a great play this week. It's certainly a plus EV bet. And if you look at it even on my betting template, Lerone Murphy by decision here, 3 of 5 wins in the UFC for Murphy by decision, all 5 losses in 3-round fights for Ige by decision. We got that, should be priced at about 59.5%. We're getting it at 56% at minus 127. So even go up to like minus 145, minus 150. This thing is still underpriced according to my model. So yeah, Murphy by decision is the way that I'm going to be playing this fight for sure. Let's see what you guys are saying in the chat. I just can't say no to Ige at plus 225. Yeah, there's no problem with that. Yeah, dude, Ige's a good fighter, and he might be able to win some minutes. He might be able to pull what he pulled in the Nate Landwehr fight, which is you just kind of lose the minutes or stay even with him. And then at the end of the round, you land that one big right hand that puts him on a stanky leg and steals the round. So, yeah, I mean, Ige, I have no problem with people betting Ige here at plus 220-ish. Plus 245 is a line that I saw earlier. Let's see where they got this right now. Murphy minus 290 and 245. Yeah. I mean, these are big numbers, you know, so eventually that decision prop is going to get away from that minus 130 range and get into the minus 160, minus 170 range. Yeah, I wish Francis was still in the UFC, but I'm glad that he's not, because it's showing other fighters that they can take a chance on themselves and make a ton of money if they have the talent to do so. What is Dan finish only? It is on Bet Online minus 110, and here plus 120 you can get on DraftKings. So I'll write that there. There we go. All right. Whitaker versus Chimaev. Oh, you see plus 140. That's if you could get that's a great play. You'll probably just get your money back, because I think that fight's going to decision maybe 80% of the time. But Ige's got heavy hands, so it could absolutely happen. Yeah, there you go. There, nothing wrong with playing that one. And then that brings us to the co-main event of the evening. Robert Whitaker plus 225. Khamzat Chimaev minus 265. Guys, this is a fight that I don't want to play. Khamzat is kind of an unknown right now. If he's not at the level that he needs to be at, this could turn out really bad. And I just feel like there's a gigantic question mark in front of Khamzat Chimaev at this point. He's been dealing with a lot of personal shit. He's been dealing with health problems. He's been dealing with injuries that are separate from the health problems. And he's fought once in the last 2 years. Everything that we've ever seen from him in the cage, in my opinion, has just been elite. I think people look at a microscope and try to find little things that are wrong with this guy. But in the macro, he might be one of the top 5 fighters to ever set foot into the UFC cage. He's been that dominant. If the Khamzat Chimaev that showed up to fight Kamaru Usman comes out here, he's going to cover that minus 265, and he's going to look phenomenal doing it. If there is chinks in the armor, if there are health problems, if he hasn't been able to train at a high level, and if he can't push a heavy early pace, you know, Whitaker, he could make this happen. He could win this fight. But there was nothing that I saw here. First of all, this is a 5-round fight. And we've seen Chimaev scheduled for 5 before, but there's not much. We don't really know what to expect. I mean, my model's telling me it likes the overs, but I don't like the overs. I don't want to bet an over in a Khamzat Chimaev fight. Robert Whitaker by decision at plus 750 is something that my model likes a lot, because 4 of his 6 5-round fights he won by decision. Guys, what's Chimaev rounds 1 and 2? Let me see that. Because if the old Khamzat comes out, I mean, I think he's finishing this guy. He's going to take him down and he's going to finish him. Round. Yeah, plus 155. It's just not enough meat on the bone. Guys, I don't want to touch this fight. You know, there's some missing information. We don't really know how Khamzat's going to approach a 5-round fight. Number one, the only 5-round fight he was ever scheduled for was Kevin Holland. He went out there and he finished that thing immediately. And I think that's probably what he's going to try to do here. You know, I mean, I really do think if we were to throw I think that's probably the best way to go here. And if you're not on that, I think it's the Robert Witter. I think it's the Robert money line. But this fight is just such a massive unknown for me that I really don't want to do anything with it. Let's see what you guys are saying in the chat. Yeah, Chimaev 1-2 or Whitaker 3-4. I have no problem with that read. I think that's a good way to look at it. You got 20 units on Ilya minus 182 and 12 units on Hamzat minus 162. Waiting to arb. This chunk of my bankroll has been occupied for months now. Only downside. Yeah, do what you're doing fine. I mean, you should be able to get max at plus 200-ish. So that'll be a nice arb. Yeah, even like Bet Any Sports has got plus 210. Caesars has got plus 210. And then you got Hamzat at minus 162, where you can get plus 210 on Whitaker as well. So, yeah, man, you did your job. You've locked in some money. And I think that you might even be able to wait and even get better prices. But that's always hard. It's always hard to predict where the market's going to go. Yeah, he against Hamzat, he might look washed. That is for sure. I don't know if he's washed yet, but we're going to find out. Let's see. Which side would you pick? Chimaev takedowns landed over or under 3.5? Probably under. The pie shop, Daz Files is going there, and Kiwi is saying I'm flat out. I'll be there about 10 a.m. There we go. We got Usman saying with no knees survived a 10-8 first round and then won round 3 with Hamzat gassed out. Whitaker will finish Hamzat if the fight sees round 3. I don't think it's that simple because I think Whitaker might be in a really bad place if he does survive rounds 1 or 2. His face might look like what Benoit Saint Denis' face looked like in the Moicano fight. I don't know, man. It's a hard one. We got cum swap Chimaev. Can't get him out quickly. He's in trouble. Yup, that's for sure. Honestly, bet the draw. Oh, yeah, that could be interesting, man. A quarter unit on 8,000 draw to place 20 units. There you go, man. Nothing wrong with that. We got and ring a ding ding. Sped MMA enjoyer saying missed the show. Tomorrow's a parlay buster kind of day. We'll find out, man. We're gonna put out that greasy 4-legger tomorrow. Whitaker of 3-4-5 decision. Okay, Wheezy. Let's go. Hamzat sub 2. Ilya KO round 4. Let's get it. How about Habitat? And we got Muhammad saying Najee plus 240. Okay, cool. I'll be there. And we got my betting model revolves around predicting the market. Okay, that's cool. Well, that's a good. I mean, if you're predicting that market correctly, then you're going to wind up getting those spots. Fluffy beats them both. I think you might be right about that, dude. Because Fluffy's never going to quit. And he probably cooks in the late rounds for sure. All right. That brings us to the main event of the evening. Ilya Topuria minus 235. Max Holloway plus 200. Fight doesn't go to decision at minus 160. My stylistic read here is that the fight goes to decision. I'm going to trust Max Holloway's durability, and I already trust Ilya Topuria's durability. So for the over-under here, I like the fight goes to decision at plus 130. Plus 130. I like, whoops. And I like Ilya by decision. Where is that? Plus 275 is something that my model just absolutely loves. And Max by decision at plus 525 is priced pretty fairly because I don't think Holloway's knocking out this guy. So Max by decision plus 525 doesn't look bad to me. What is Ilya KO? Ilya KO is plus 188. It's entirely too expensive to put that on Ilya to knock out a guy that's almost virtually impossible to knock out. But this is a pretty simple one, you guys. Ilya decision plus 275. fight goes to decision plus 130. I think that those are the best ways to play this one. That's how I'm going to be playing it personally. Let's see what you guys are saying in the chat here. Stacy and Paul saying like the video. Yes, absolutely like the video. And please consider taking advantage of that 80% discount. Top link here in the description of this video. Go to the Dub Club. Get access to my probability stats package, which has this show probability. It has balls deep breakdowns for every single UFC event of the year. It has this prop betting model. It has this over-under betting model. It has the individual fighter stats, the matchup stats, access to the Discord, access to the tracked bets, access to everything that you could possibly need in order to make better decisions, betting money lines, betting prop bets, playing DFS, playing over-unders on underdog and prize picks. We got it all, man. Ilya under 0.5 takedowns for plus 180. I kind of like that. Max decision only at plus 150. I kind of like that. Because if he doesn't get bonked, that could be very interesting. My guy Antonio saying, I'm going to join your Patreon, Unc. You're my favorite content creator, and I always enjoy your live streams. I don't really bet MMA, but I'm going to join to support you. Dude, I appreciate that, Antonio. That's what I'm looking for, man. I'm just looking for support from you guys because, unfortunately, YouTube just doesn't support us. And if you're the kind of content creator that can create a video like this that's going to get viewed for years, then you would get supported by YouTube. But it's unfortunate because of the kind of content that we create here. There's just no way to make any real money showing up here on YouTube. So if you don't get the support from the people that enjoy your content, the incentive for showing up, it just goes away really fast. So I appreciate everybody that is joining up, and I'm trying to give you guys as many reasons to do so as possible, whether it's 4 hours of content, whether it's carefully crafted betting models, whether it's carefully crafted prop models, over-under models, statistics, all this stuff that I do. And my guy, Kiwi Brew, always supporting the work, always being generous with his support. Ring a ding ding with the $20 donation saying, cheers, appreciate your hard work. Kiwi, I appreciate your support, brother. It means so much, man. Thank you so much for the donation. Muhammad saying, cheers, Wheezy. We appreciate you, brother. And Olajuwon saying, ring a ding ding, you guys. All right, let's go through these bets. I'm not going to be betting the Evo Aslan Rafael Cerqueira fight. There's no information available on Cerqueira, but my leans are Aslan KO at 150 and Aslan moneyline at plus 110. Naurdiev versus Bruno Silva. I kind of like the fight starts round 3 at minus 122 here as a potential parlay piece. I like overs right now. And I think that this one's going to see the full 15. Bruno Silva's very durable. He's got heavy hands, but I'm not really sure that the power is there anymore for him. And but Bruno Silva by KO is a plus EV bet, as well as Ismael Naurdiev by decision. That's a plus EV bet as well. So I kind of like that spot. Fight goes for Leal versus Rinat at minus 170. I think is a potential parlay piece. And because I like the fight goes, I like the decision props on both sides, but a lot of meat on the bone for that Leal by decision. I like fight doesn't go to decision for Basharat versus Hugo at plus 170. I think I'm going to play that for 1 unit. And then Hugo by sub at plus 2,400 is just a fat number. You could put 1/10 of a unit on that to win 2.4. I think it's worth it. And then Basharat by a ground and pound KO at plus 800 when his money line is approaching minus 700. I think there's a lot of meat on that bone as well. This fight, Nzechukwu versus Fat Barnett, I'm not gonna be betting it. Magomedov versus Ferreira, I've got the Abus money line. I like the fight doesn't start round 2 or the under 1.5 as good violence bets for this week. Ferreira, rounds 1 or 2 at plus 225, I think is the best way to play him. And that Abus decision at plus 480, that has my eye as well. Like violence in Rebecki versus Orolbai. Rebecki's money line is something I might be playing this week. Rebecki rounds 1 or 2 at plus 574 has my eye. That plus 3.5 points handicap at plus 120 has my eye. And a live entry on Orolbai, I think, is a decent look this week. Not going to be touching this Neal dos Anjos fight, but the best line there is Neal by KO. I like Petrosyan and Magomedov to go the distance, so I like that fight starts round 3 at minus 335. And then I also like that Rakic plus 3.5 points handicap, and Rakic by decision at plus 700 has got a lot of meat on the bone. Ankalaev by decision, minus 105 is the stylistic read, but that Ankalaev violence props I think have also got some decent meat on the bone there too. Murphy by decision at minus 136 is one of my favorite plays of the week. And that Dan Ige finish only is a great look as well. Probably going to be staying away from the Chimaev fight. And I do like a fight goes for Topuria versus Holloway. So we got to come up with a probability parlay here. And here's what I'm looking at. I like the fight starts round 3 for Magomedov versus Petrosyan. I like that's good. So let's see. If we were to do something like Lerone Murphy by decision, which I think is a great parlay piece because it's a little bit juice for a decision prop, but if you put it into a parlay, you can find a couple of other legs that can get this thing up to a nice plus money number that we could throw a unit on. So we're going to start with Lerone Murphy by decision at minus 136. Then we're going to go for fight starts round 3. Shara Magomedov versus Armen Petrosyan. Fight to start round 3, yes, minus 335. And Silva Naurdiev, I think that one goes over, but boy, nothing on that fight. Nothing on that fight. Don't like that. Nope. Rinat Carlos over potentially. Ankalaev, Rakic, Whitaker. Oh. All right. Let me see. What else can we? I'd like to find one more leg. An over in a Silva Naurdiev fight, maybe. A fight starts round 3 there as well. Fakhretdinov, Leal. There was an over 1.5 that I liked on one of these. Maybe it's the Rakic fight. Over, no, it's not a very good one according to my model. Okay. Magomedov Petrosyan, we've already got that one in there. Don't like an over for that fight. That's not even a fight. Nzechukwu Barnett. What do you guys think? Any parlay legs that are sticking out for you guys? Yeah, dude. No thoughts on Rafael Cerqueira because it's impossible to come up with meaningful thoughts on a guy where you have no tape on any of his fights. So my thoughts on that fight is that I think Aslan's got to be the side, and that Aslan plus 110 on the money line is probably the best bet. But in my opinion, that fight's just a stay away because we just don't know anything about Cerqueira. So I think the prudent move is just to watch the fight, get some notes on Cerqueira, find out what kind of a fighter he is, and then you have some information going forward of him fighting somebody with a pulse at this level, and we'll find out whether he's ready for this level or not. So I'm going to add the Fakhretdinov over 2.5 at minus 210 as the third leg here. So where is it? There it is. Over 2.5 is minus 225. Is that what we were? Yeah, it's still it's a little expensive, but that brings it up to plus 228. Let's see what it is. Winning method, Murphy by decision. What the fuck is it? Oh my God, they got minus 160 on DraftKings? Holy shit. It's a horrible line. And then to start round 3, plus 215 to start round 3 for Shara. Yeah, I don't like this, man. I'm going to leave it at this. Lerone Murphy by decision. A fight to start round 3. We're going to get plus money at plus 126. That is going to be your probability parlay this week. It is going to be Lerone Murphy by decision and fight starts round 3. Comes out to plus 126 on Bet Rivers Sportsbook. All right, there we go. That's your probability parlay for the week. We got my guy Daz Files with the ring-a-ding-ding. My people from the New Zealand chipping in here with Kiwi Brew and Daz Files, Kiwi's legendary generosity. Thanks, Wheezy. Appreciate you, Daz Files. You've been one of the ones from day one supporting the work. We got Kiwi saying, sure, Real, good to see you. Real saying, thanks, brother. We got Kiwi saying, what's up to Daz? Murphy money line should be a leg, I think. Yeah, I think Murphy's, but he's not finishing Dan Ige. Nobody finishes Dan Ige. So I'd like to get that minus 136 for Murphy by decision. Yeah, definitely have Murphy already. Props are shite, says Moyes Audio. Bet regionals, less work. Yeah, less information, though, to make your decision based off as well. So, and Stacy Paul saying we can't see because we got the comments up there. But yes, sir, there it is. Lerone Murphy by decision. Fight starts round 3 for Petrosyan and Magomedov. That comes out to plus 126 on Bet Rivers Sportsbook. 65 of you guys still hanging out live in here. I've got this promo code that if you go to my Twitter profile, you can see this. If you go to my Twitter, Uncle Wheezy, which is at MMA Wheezy, you're going to see this huge Dub Club discount. Get real-time plays from MMA Wheezy. If you click on that, it's going to give you a 1-month promo code, $5 instead of $25 to sign up to the Probability UFC Stats Package. If you sign up for that, you get access to the Probability Show every week, which you just watched, the Balls Deep Breakdown Show every week, where we do the full card breakdown, going through my fight write-ups, which you see here for every fight on the card. We've got the betting models for over-under bets. We've got the betting models for prop bets. We've got the matchup stats, the side-by-side stats for every matchup on the fight, the individual fighter stats, track bets, Discord access. It's all there. $5 a month. You can't pass that up. You got to at least try it out for 1 month and see how much value you're getting for a $25 a month subscription, and you get a chance to do it for only $5. So I'm hoping a ton of you sign up and take advantage of this phenomenal offer that I'm making available to you guys. So let's stack cash tickets like flapjacks for UFC 308 Appreciate you guys for hanging out. Hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe on your way out if you haven't already. And please consider joining the Patreon or especially that Dub Club to take advantage of that 80% discount. Link is in the description of the video. You guys have a great rest of your day. I'll see you tomorrow here for free on YouTube doing the greasy 4-leg parlay. God bless each and every one of you. And let's stack cashed tickets like flapjacks for UFC 308. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. Take care.